Hi Mama, welcome to Baby Nutrition Series. I am excited to bring you this recipe for because it is power packed, homemade, and multi-grain cereal designed for healthy weight gain for your little one. We're going to be using up to 10 different ingredients just to make this super packed. But before we dive into the recipe, let me tell you what started this recipe or what birthed this recipe. So this is my little one. My second child was born at 3.08 kilogram at birth, and she was weighing healthy weight until she was like 6 months old. From 6 months old that she was 6.2, the weight started going down because she was not taking any food, and even the one she was taking was probably not giving her the supplement that she needed for her body. So she was just below the green line. You can see how close she was to the orange line. And once the child is close to the orange line, that is red flag. And when it is red line, that is malnutrition totally. So this is a file from the clinic. And when I started making this grain for her, she started in 11.2 kilos, 12.6 kilos, started weighing healthy weight with the inclusion of this in our diet. So let's get into the recipe. First, we are going to be our first ingredient for this recipe is soya beans. Remove the dirt, remove the stone, remove everything, and then we're going to rinse this. You rinse it clean, just so if there's any other particle or sand, you can get them out. So it is very important to ensure that all your ingredients are clean because you want it to be easily digestible for baby's delicate tummy. So I wash my grain usually 2 to 3 times depending on the color the water gives me after the last washing. And then for soya beans, I'm trying to peel off the peels, like I'm trying to remove the peels of the soya beans because it makes the cooking time faster. So people like to remove theirs after the cooking time, but I'm trying to be smart and reduce time in the kitchen. So I try to remove a bit of it, maybe not completely. You can still remove some because it peels easily when it is cooked, but I'm trying to remove more than 50% of that right now in the water. And this is just what I'm doing, just like you see me doing the video. So I'm just rinsing it several times, and these are the peels that I was able to get out. So you can notice that it looks broken. It's not whole right now. It's like half splitted pea. So it cooks faster this way because it is splitted. So I transfer that into a clean pot, add some water to it, and I'm now going to allow this to cook for 30 minutes. So you gently cook this for 30 minutes. Ensure that you do not cover the lid completely because it will, what will I call the English name? It will, I don't know, I can't remember the English name. It shall will swell, like bubble over. So let that cook. While that is cooking, I'm peeling my carrot. Remove the skin from the carrot, yes, and wash it thoroughly. See, these steps washing, please don't skip any washing. So you can either use a grater to grate your carrot like you see, or I'll use a potato peeler, but I prefer using the potato peeler because it gives me a more, like, it's easier for me to work with, and it's like less water, less accident and all that. It just gives this very light peel. So I was using my potato peeler to just scrape through the skin of the carrot, so it gives me this very translucent cut. And I did that for all my carrot. I used 3 big carrots for this recipe, for that particular one. And to just dehydrate this, or you put it in the sun. So I'm sun drying my own. I usually do check my weather forecast before starting this recipe. So I will choose a date that I know that it's going to be very sunny, like the weather is going to be up to 30 degrees, and I'll start in the morning, so it has enough time, like throughout the day from 9 o'clock to like 4 o'clock. I will have all that sun to sun dry it. So next is our yellow corn. You wash your yellow corn just like you did for every other thing that you are going to be doing. Wash this, rinse it several times with water, and once you're satisfied with the level of cleanness, like yes, it looks clean and there's no dirt, there's no stone, transfer that into another pot, and then we're going to parboil this. Yes, this is the technique we are going to use for this series that makes it instant, no cooking required eventually when it's ready. So parboiling it's not like cooking through, it's just softening it lightly. It is called pre-gelatinization. That is a process that helps break down the complex starches in this ingredient and makes it easier for your baby's body to absorb the nutrient from these grains. So for my white corn, I'm also washing it like you see me do. And I'm going to be cooking the white corn and the yellow corn for 10 minutes each. So set your timer when you are doing this recipe. The soya beans is ready. It's 30 minutes already. So drain out the water from it. And we want it, in a sieve, you want it totally dry. So just transfer that. I'm just trying to show you how it looks like. It looks like this Yoruba egusi, but it's not really egusi. So just cook that thoroughly. If you have some peel left or removed, you should wash it at this stage. It comes out easily also. And just that's just what you need to do. Just remove the peel. If you have extra, you don't want the peel in this recipe, and then ensure it's totally clean. So this is what it looks like. It's softened. You can see it breaks easily the way I'm putting my hand into it. So I'm just trying to remove out extra peels that were left over from the first cleaning, and now it is totally and 100% clean. So the next stage is just allow it to drain out excess moisture in the basket or in the colander. And now my corn is also ready. It's 10 minutes already after cooking. So just transfer into another sieve and let it sieve out excess moisture. You don't want moisture in this recipe because it will not make your grain last longer. So afterwards, I transferred into a dry towel, clean kitchen towel, and then I'm patting dry all the extra water on it so that it will fasten out the cooking the drying time. So I'm pouring in the white corn and also going to cook that again for 10 minutes. So afterwards, I transfer my yellow corn into a pan that I'm going to use to sun dry it. I just take it outside in the sun. I can also use a dehydrator if you have a dehydrator. I'm using this next to cover it because I don't want birds coming to eat out of my corn or any insects perching on it. When it's for babies, you have to be extra careful. So this is soya beans also. I'm patting it dry in a towel, and I'm just going to ensure that there is less water, like, so it's when it's outside, you don't want the tray breathing, like, I don't know, you just do not want moisture in it when you're sun dry. So ensure that it is dry already with the towel, and then you put it outside again in the sun for it to not dry properly, because when there's still a bit of moisture under it, it can be in 4 hours, it can be a breeding place for any microorganism, and you don't want that to happen. So I spread that also in a tray as much as possible. Leave like thin layer, not overcrowd the tray if you want it to dry on time. And then I'm going to take that also into the sun to dry for as long as possible. You can dry within 24 hours to 48 hours, but because my sun was really sunny that day, everything dried in 10 hours that particular day. So this is just ready for taking outside. And then the next ingredient you're going to be working with is rice. Rice is very important in most of baby cereals. It gives volume, it's carbs, everything, and it gives this creamy texture also. So I have 4 cups of rice here. My rice ratio is usually times 2, the same ratio with the corns. So we use 2 cups of yellow corn and 2 cups of white corn. So the rice is 4 cups. So you wash your rice like you will if you're cooking normal, and then we're going to cook the rice also for 5 to 8 minutes. We don't want it completely cooked. You just want to parboil it. Don't forget. So this is what the rice looks like when it's already parboiled. I'm also going to drain that, and then use a cold water to shock it so they can stop cooking process immediately. And you can also transfer to a towel so you can dry. So next ingredient is the red sorghum. Yes, I think Yoruba call it okababa. You also wash that, remove the stone, remove the sand, everything, ensure it is clean. Transfer to a pan and cook. Usually for grains that look smaller, I cook for less than 10 minutes, so usually 5 to 8 minutes. But for grains that are bigger, I cook up to 10 minutes. So I cook the corn for 10 minutes, but I cooked other grains that are not as big as that for less than 10 minutes. So this is the white corn, but there's something about the corn here in my country here is it changes color when you're cooking it. It is white though, but when you're cooking it, it turns yellow, and when you stop cooking it turns white again. So this is the white corn. So parboil, transfer that into a pan that you can use for spreading outside, so drying it. The rice also, pat everything dry, transfer to a clean tray. You're going to be needing a lot of tray for this recipe. A lot of tray for this recipe. So next is the red sorghum. You just want to also rinse it so it stop cooking process, and then drain and pat dry with a towel, just like we've been doing for every other ingredient that we have. So next is millet. There are different kind of millet, so whatever one you can find in the market is what you should use. This is I don't know the name of this kind of millet, but there are several types of millet, and you just wash this also and then cook this. For this particular one, I cooked it for just 5 minutes. I don't want it overcooked because it's very small, like a very tiny grain. You don't want it overcooked. So I tried that one also and transfer into a tray, and you're taking that outside to sun dry completely. Now that everything is dry, we need to move on to the next stage to develop incredible flavors to extend the shelf life of the cereals. So this is everything after drying, like for 10 hours. So now I have dates powder here. Can use any jaggery powder. We do not add sugar to baby food, and you don't want to use honey for babies that are less than 1 year old. So that is my own date powder. Some of it has clump up, but I'll dry it together, like blend it together. So I have oat here. I have 2 cups of oats, and I have mixed nuts. Please ensure that your child does not have allergy to nuts. You can totally move this if you've not tested your child for allergy or you've not tried it before in other food for them. So I have almond, cashew, and peanut mixture, which is like 3 cups of it. And this is our hydrated carrot. This is what it looks like. You can actually use any fruit of your choice to flavor this up. You can use potatoes, you can use apples, you can use any kind of fruit that you can dehydrate to this texture. I didn't dehydrate my own, I just kept it in the sun, and this is what I have. So it's like ensure that it is dry. Please, completely dry. We do not want small water. If it is not dry within 10 hours, just dehydrate it again or put it in the sun. So this is the millet. Everything is ready. Like everything for this thing is now ready. So now in a large pan, like you want big pan, over a medium low heat, you are going to gently toast all this grain. Like you keep stirring constantly so it does not burn, but we are looking for a beautiful golden color that has wonderful nutty aroma. Like everywhere should be smelling nutty. That's what you want to do for this. So toasting time varies depending on how much quantity you put in the pan and the heat you are cooking with. So you're just going to keep toasting until you see the cues that okay, it smells nutty but not burnt. So for the corn, when you want to realize that the corn is ready, it will pop like popcorn. That is how you know that it is ready, and you just keep mixing that until you see one of it trying to pop. And then this is my soya beans. Also, you just toast everything averagely of 10 minutes plus for each one. Just like I said, depending on how you crowd your pan tells how much time you have to spend. So this one now, you see that my corn is ready because it's the first one has popped. So you have to off the heat before everything turns to popcorn for you. So this is just what you have. You can see it shows that it is cooked. Like this is cooked in 100% form. So after toasting, ensure you put it again on the tray so that it can dry. You want it to cool down. You don't want moisture from the heat. So I'm going to just toast every ingredient. The millet, the rice. The rice is one of the tricky ones to toast because it takes a bit of more stirring than regular, and it took more than 10 minutes. I think it took almost 40 minutes 37 seconds to get the rice to the consistency that you need. And this is your oat, and the reason for that is because you need the rice to be totally dry. Like it should look like you did not cook it before. And this is my nut. I didn't toast the peanut. I only toasted the almond and cashew nut because my peanut is already toasted, so there was no reason to retoast it again. And this is what the rice looks like. You see how dry and golden it looks. Yes, this is the labor of love, because if this child does not add weight, there's going to be problems. So I did not want problem. I hate seeing the way our ribs are out. And then I just, after everything has cooled down, transfer everything into a bucket so that you are ready for the next stage of grinding. I think the grinding part is my favorite because everywhere just smelling super nice. All these ingredients are key for healthy brain development and weight gain for your baby. Please, when you finish toasting, let it dry before you do this next step. Do not blend hot ingredients in your blender. The heat will cause condensation inside your blender. It will ruin the texture, and even your blender can actually stop working from the temperature that you're going to be working with. You need a high power blender, or you take it to commercial people to help you to blend, because you need it to be super fine and silky. Yes, look at that, this beauty now. See beauty. And this will last your child for so long, depending on how many children I have. So I have this high power blender that I'm going to be blending with. And one of the tricks I was doing is to distribute the mixture. I do not put a lot of nut in each batch, because when you blend nut for too long, it turns to butter. So I ensure that I'm portioning more grains than the nut in each batch so it doesn't clump up. See how it's smooth. See how smooth my blender did the job. If you know your blender do not have the mind for it, please carry it to people that do commercial blending and grind it outside. So I'm just going to transfer that into the bowl, just keep everything like that. And now everything is ready. Like I blended some in very smooth powder so I can share with one of my friends that had a baby, and I have mine in this coarse texture for my own kids because now they are like They are older, they're not 6 months old anymore, so they like textured food. So depending on your baby, you can make it super fine or you can make it just a bit with, texture in it. So you're growing in an airtight container and only scoop out the quantity that you need to cook. So our testing, we are scooping out 2 heaped tablespoons of that, and you can either form a paste or go in directly with your hot water. If you have enjoyed this recipe to this extent, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and share with your other mamas that will find this beneficial. This homemade weight gain cereal is packed with complex carbohydrates for energy and complete protein for muscle growth, healthy fat for brain development, and you are giving your baby just the very best from the very start. I hope you enjoy and like these videos. Thank you for joining me for this particular recipe, and I can't wait to share the remaining 2 recipes for you. Don't forget to drop me a comment to tell me how much of the recipes you've tried so far and the ones that you liked. To enrich this further, you can add half teaspoon of coconut oil or olive oil to your pudding before serving to baby. Store leftover pudding in the fridge for 24 hours and please reheat it before offering it to baby, but it's best not to actually give babies leftovers except you have kept it in the freezer. See you in the next one. I hope you have enjoyed this recipe. Bye.